Welcome to Blue Heron Hill. I'm Sue, and it's going to be nasty today. We're going to be getting maybe 2 inches of rain from that tropical storm that's coming up from the south. So what better day than to spend it in the kitchen making up a big pot of soup. I have these 2 humongous sweet potatoes. I don't know what to do with them. Well, I actually do know what to do with them. This would be, we could probably eat off of this for a few days. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these 2 into sweet potato soup. So come along with me and let's get started. First of all, we have to wash these up. They're fresh out of my storage space, my quote root cellar in the basement. I'm going to scrub them up and I'm going to peel these. The last couple recipes I haven't peeled them. The skins are very good, very nutritious, but in the soup recipe, I don't think I want the skins. So let's do that now. Anyway, time to peel this guy up. Once we peeled them up, I still have a spot in here. Well, I can't get it with my peeler, so I'll have to cut it with the knife and then finish. There are some blemish spots here, a little insect damage or something in there that I'll cut off. We're going to chop these sweet potatoes, just kind of a rough chop, maybe half-inch slices. This soup is going to go into the crock pot, so it's going to be low and slow all day long. The recipe calls for about 2.5 pounds. Well, right here I have 3.5 pounds with these 2 huge monsters. So I'm just going to adjust the recipe accordingly. I'll have the recipe down in the show notes, and that will be the recipe for the 2.5 pounds of sweet potatoes. So one more to peel up. Next ingredient is an onion. We're going to chop. Just a rough chop is all it needs. I'm going to put in another half an onion to kind of compensate for my larger soup quantity. Besides, who doesn't like the flavor of an onion in a soup? I like to bake, but when you bake, you have to stick very closely to the ingredients, the amounts, especially things, you know, like your leavening agents. But with cooking, you can adjust things however you want. If you want more pepper in something, if you want more onions, more garlic, go for it. So that's why a soup recipe too is very, very versatile. Okay, now we need 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put in 4 because, again, who doesn't like garlic? Just a rough chop of the garlic is all we need. Most of these ingredients are all going to be blended smooth at the very end. So the garlic is still going to impart its flavor, same with the onions and the sweet potatoes. Okay, next is ginger. I would normally use fresh ginger, but my ginger crop this year was pretty poor. I dehydrated it, and I still have some left over from last year. So they wanted ginger in this. Ginger and sweet potatoes is an awesome combination. So I'm just going to, again, give this a rough break up. And put that in. It's going to call for a can of diced tomatoes. These are from my garden. These are actually whole tomatoes. Cumin. 1 teaspoon of cumin, and since I have more, I'm going to put in a wee bit more. Okay, it also calls for cinnamon. I'm going to do 1 heaping teaspoon of cinnamon. This is going to smell awesome throughout the day. Salt. We need, I'm going to put in just a teaspoon of salt, and then close to serving time, I will taste it and see if it needs more. Some freshly ground pepper. Same with the pepper. Always like to go heavy on the pepper. We need 1 additional cup of water. There we go. And I'm thinking we may need more of a tomato in here. We also need 4 cups of vegetable stock. Now, unfortunately, I am out of vegetable stock on my list to make some more. So instead, I will put in chicken. Go. And here we are. Quick stir. Start blending some of those ingredients together. And we'll get this set up in my crock pot. And it's going to go low and slow for about 8 hours at least. So I'll bring you back and we'll check in it when it gets closer to finish time. Now that the sweet potato soup ingredients are all in the crock pot and starting to cook away, I've cleaned up the kitchen and I'm going down to the little cabin. We put a link up there in the original video. I'm going to show you a sneak peek of what's been going on. We're not quite ready for the big reveal, but it's coming. As you can see, there's one thing that's changed. We have a little deck off the back. And we bumped out one corner of the back to make a little storage room back there. Oh, and what's that? Oh, and are we going through the door? Well, let's see. Ooh. That's all you get to see. Whoa, it's been a really busy day. I've been down at the little cabin doing a couple of fix-ups, a little touch-up painting, a few things that needed our attention. And there are still things that need our attention, so it's not quite ready for show. But outside, it is raining, and it's been raining for about 4 hours or so. Just a steady stream. But you come into this house, and that's what you smell. The smell is amazing. That little bit of cumin and cinnamon are awesome. It's just subtle, yet it's very effective. So let me take you down here a little bit closer, get a better look at the full glory of this beautiful soup. It's been on the simmer on low all day, almost 8 hours. And the potatoes are fork tender. They just break right apart. I'll stir this up just a wee bit. So what we have to do now, oh, I did come back and I added a little bit more tomato because I didn't feel that I had quite enough. But oh, wow, this is great. Now, the finishing touch would be to use your immersion blender. This is an awesome tool in the kitchen. So let me get this blended up and we'll have a little taste test. Now I think that if you had put this in a blender or a food processor, it would blend up a little bit faster and it would get a lot creamier. I don't mind a semi-chunky soup. I think this way it gives you a real rustic presentation. If you had used fresh ginger and put fresh ginger in here, you would have taken out those bits before you started to process it up. But since I didn't, I essentially was using powdered ginger. I didn't need to do that. I'm just going to put it on warm for now because I think that it is done. Ooh, so thick. If you don't like it this thick, add a little bit more stock to it. Now, some serving suggestions would be to sprinkle a little cilantro on here, or parsley, something like that, to give it a little bit more color. A dollop of sour cream or yogurt or something like that. I'm going to taste it to see if it needs any additional spices. It's very hot, but very good. The flavors are excellent. I do think it needs a little bit more pepper and maybe a tad bit more salt. So I'm going to put that in there. And since we are still an hour or so away from dinner, I'm just going to let this sit on the warming setting. But let me get a little bit more salt in with this, and some fresh cracked black pepper, which I love. I may go a little heavy-handed on the pepper at times. I'm just going to park this right here. I think a great addition would be a nice crusty bread. If you wanted to add more protein to it in the form of meat, right now it's, if you use the vegetable stock, it would be a vegetarian meal. You could add some sausage with this, which would be outstanding. And if you added some sausage, I think I would have put a little sage in with this also. Maybe even sprinkle this with a little bacon. So what are you doing with all of your sweet potato harvest? This is one of the ways that I plan on using my sweet potatoes up, especially those big ones that are just as tasty as the small ones, but they will serve a good deal. 3.5 pounds of sweet potatoes in this recipe. This is going to last us for a while. I may freeze some of this. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. How are you using your sweet potatoes from your crop this last season? And so until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt outside or cooking inside in the kitchen. Bye.